Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. I'd like to say double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught me this truth. And also shalom and salutations to the elect that's out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. Alright, so I'm the brother Shaquat from the branch of Great Millstone, Montreal. And I'm back with another lesson. And this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today is going to be inspired by this video that I'm about to play.
De Dios. Y Dios nos quiere como estamos y con la fuerza que luchamos cada uno por nuestra dignidad. El ser homosexual no es un delito. No es un delito. Sí, pero es pecado. Bueno, primero, distingamos pecado por delito. Pero también es pecado la falta de caridad con el prójimo. ¿Y vos cómo andás? Cada hombre y cada mujer tiene que tener una ventana en su vida donde pueda volcar su esperanza y donde pueda ver la dignidad de Dios. Y ser homosexual no es un delito. Es una condición humana.
Right, so that was the Pope, right, who's known as Pope Francis, you know, and I believe he's recently dead. He just died, you know, but hey, this goes to show you that the Catholic Church, you know, does not have the truth, because he made a lot of statements that were wrong. You know, he made a lot of statements that were not according to the Bible, that were not biblical, man. You know, he made a lot of false statements. And, the first statement that he went off on is that we are all children of God. That's a lie. You know, not everybody is a children of the Most High, man. You know, because first and foremost, what we have to understand is that the Heavenly Father and His Son, whose name is Yahweh, and His Son's name is Yahweh Shai, they're not dealing with everybody. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is not dealing with every nation on the earth, right? Because there's 18 nations that were created, you see, and they all stem from after the flood, right? Shem, Ham, or Japheth. They come from those three men, you know, but each and every nation that was created and came out of those men is not chosen. It's not children of the Most High, right? But one of those nations would be considered as the children of the Most High, right? As the chosen, you know? So matter of fact, let me get that real quick in the book of 2nd Ezra. Matter of fact, let me see if I could just pull it up this way. Salakia, bear with me. 2nd Ezra 6. And verse 50. Yup, verse 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Right? So this goes to back up my statement that I made, that each and every nation of people comes from Ham, Shem, or Japheth, right? Because this is how we come from Adam, you know. How everybody comes from Adam is through the flood, after the flood, right? Of him come we all, right? And then it goes to say, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, right? So it made sure to give a distinction that, okay, every people come from Adam, right? Through Ham, Shem, or Japheth. But there's a chosen people whom the Heavenly Father has chosen to be His representative, man. And that would be the children of Israel. Those will be considered the children of the Most High, or the children of God, right? Not everybody, you know. And when you go into Matthew, the 1st chapter, and this the 21st verse, it says that the child that was going to be born, which is speaking about the Lord, Yahweh Shai, you know, he would save his people, right? So the Lord came for his people, a possessive noun, man, and not everybody, right? So that goes to show that, hey, not everybody is a child of the Most High, you know? And to be even more specific and in depth, even amongst the nation of Israel, which today are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Even amongst them, there's some that are not considered the children of the Most High, right? There's still an elect that's more precious than the nation itself, than the chosen nation, man. You know, matter of fact, let me get that real quick, and those will be the true children of the Most High. You see, Galatians. Matter of fact, let's see if I can paraphrase it. Yeah, Galatians 6 and verse 16, it says, and as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them, and mercy, and upon the Israel of the Most High, right? So who's the Israel of the Most High? Is the elect. You know, that's talking about the elect. The elect is a distinct people from the chosen people. You know, for lack of better words, the elect will be the chosen amongst the chosen, right? You know, but sticking to the point, this false statement that was made by Pope Francis, you know, that everybody is a children of the Most High. He's not a children of the Most High, right? He would, you know, his lineage would most likely go back to Esau, Edom, right? The Edomites, you know, and the Edomites is a nation that the Lord does not claim, man. The Lord hates and despises the Edomites, right? The Lord does not call the Edomites his sons, his children, you know. So there we go, you know. Matter of fact, let me finish off in 2nd Ezra 6, you know, just to get a little bit more meat off the bone. It says, verse 55, it says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes, right? So the planet Earth was made for a particular people's sake, man, and that's the chosen people, the Israelites, you know. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel, right? So that's how the Lord looks at these other nations, man. These other 17 nations as spittle. So they're definitely not considered children of the Most High, man. You know, because to call something spit, right, that's ultimate disrespect, man. Just like when somebody spits in front of you, or even spits on you, that's a disrespectful act, man. You know, and to call somebody spit, that's even more, that's disrespectful, man. You know, going to show you that not everybody is a child of the Most High, you know. So let's continue on. Let's skip to the next point.
Dios nos quiere como estamos y con la fuerza que luchamos cada uno por nuestra dignidad.
Right. So this is another statement that he made that is false. It's not biblical at all. You know, it's not according to the laws of the Heavenly Father. You know, he says being homosexual is not a crime. It is a crime, right? It is a crime. Being a homosexual according to the Heavenly Father is a crime, right? Matter of fact, let's look up a couple words here, man. Let's look up homosexual meaning in the Google definition. It says homosexual, sexually or romantically attracted to people of one's own sect, right? So that's what homosexuality or homosexual means. It means that you are attracted to the same gender, right? If you're a man, you're attracted to man. If you're a woman, you're attracted to woman. That's what homosexuality means. And the Pope here is saying that that is not a crime. And what is his justification? Matter of fact, let's keep playing.
Homosexual no es un delito. No es un delito. Sí, pero es pecado.
You know, he's saying that homosexuality is not a crime because it's not a crime, but it's a sin. You know, which is confusion. That doesn't make sense. It's the same thing. You know, and that's why the apostles, they tell us, you know, to look up words and understand the meaning of words, what things mean, because that gives you a better understanding of what the scriptures are speaking about and what's going on, man, right? And, you know, it gives you a better understanding for you to also know how to go, you know, filter out what's wrong and what's right, man. You know, because crime and sin literally mean the same thing. You know? Matter of fact, let's look up that word crime in a regular Google definition. A crime, an action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by law, right? Some of the similar words for crime: offense, unlawful act, right? And that's the point I wanted to get, man. An unlawful act, that's considered a crime, right? An unlawful act, right? But what does the scriptures speak about, or what is the definition of sin according to the Bible, right? Let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law, right? So that word law again, right, is the same word, or is the same similar word from the definition of the word crime, right? Because one of the similar words for the word crime was an unlawful act, right? So sin is the transgression of the law, or in other words, an unlawful act, an act that's not pertaining to the law, or breaking the law, which is the same thing. Crime and sin literally mean the same thing, right? You're committing a crime if you break the laws of the Heavenly Father, man. You're committing a sin if you break the laws of the Heavenly Father, right? So homosexuality is a crime and it is the sin. It's both. It's wrong, you know, because the scriptures say that a man that sleepeth, you know, with another man shall be put to death, man. You know, or a woman with a woman, or a woman with a beast, or a man with the beast. All that is sin. You're transgressing the law. You're committing sin. You're going off. Those are unlawful acts, man. You know? So this Pope, the statement that he made is wrong, right? But guess what? People will listen to him and, you know, basically commend his statement and say, oh, yo, that was a wise statement. Whoa, that's deep. Because of his position and because how the, you know, the world paints a Pope to be, man. This is, you know, but these popes and these, you know, the Catholic Church is a wicked place, man. You know, but hey, man, you know, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. You know, clearing up the confusion, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Until next time, Shalom. Call hello Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.